you believe in the supernatural?
Download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade, a full cast audio drama, for free for a limited time at spiritblade.com.
I'd like to tell you about what I found Christians doing on this internet. Welcome to the Christian Geek Radar.
Hey, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Welcome to the Christian Geek Radar, where I take a look at some of the news and highlights of Christian geekery online. This time we're looking at stuff from the months of July and August 2016. First up, Brent Weeks, author of the Night Angel trilogy, sent out a newsletter notifying people that he was able to get the first book in his Lightbringer series re-recorded by a new voice actor. Apparently there had been some complaints about the voice actor that was used, and then in the audiobooks that followed in that series, they kind of upgraded to a different voice actor or reader, but readers were still like, oh, but I missed the consistency, you know. And so he kind of like, it's a humorous kind of newsletter here where he talks about the process of getting the new voice actor to go back and re-record the original book in that series, and it just kind of shows his commitment to excellence, because really he was in a position where those who had the rights to making the audiobooks owed him nothing, but he had just kind of built up equity and been someone that he really tries to be easy to work with so that he can build up equity for moments like these. And so anyway, that was kind of a neat announcement to hear just about Brent continuing to pursue excellence. If you're not familiar with his work, then I would highly recommend checking out the Night Angel trilogy. He's a Christian author, but he is publishing stories that are not specifically aimed at Christians, and they are in the mainstream market. He's on the New York Times bestseller list, and it's really dark, intense fantasy, but it is absolutely thickly layered with all kinds of biblical content and themes and parallels. It's really just wonderful stuff. And he's got the Blood Mirror, which is the second to last book in his current series, the Lightbringer series. It's going to be coming out October 25th, and coinciding with that, probably around that time or shortly after, I'll be putting up video versions of my interview that I had with Brent Weeks a number of years ago, where he shared for the first time publicly his in association with his work, that is, his Christian faith, and just kind of what it was like to get into the world of publishing and to publish the specific kind of content that he's doing, which is really dark and intense, you know, with violence and F-bombs and stuff, but still with all this kinds of rich biblical thematic material, you know, interwoven throughout, you know, what it was like to publish and find a publisher for that kind of work. So anyway, you can look forward to that on the Christian Geek Central YouTube channel coming up probably in October. Anyway, moving along here. Killing Floor 2 on GameInformer.com. It was originally announced that well, actually, this is the story that I'm looking at came from Game Informer. That Tripwire Interactive announced that Killing Floor 2 is releasing globally on November 18th on PC and PS4, and with it comes modes for both solo players and those playing with and against friends. Killing Floor 2 supports 6-player co-op and solo play, as well as 12-player PvP versus survival game mode. In it, a team of humans face against a team of Zeds, the game's zombie-like enemies. So if you're not familiar with this series, it's a first-person shooter, largely, I think, a multiplayer type of affair, with lots of like crazy zombies and all kinds of weird, dark sci-fi kind of stuff going on. What's interesting about this is that John Gibson, the president of Tripwire Interactive, is a Christian, and in the first Killing Floor game, the soundtrack is composed almost entirely, if not entirely, of by music from Christian rock bands. I don't know if the same will be true of Killing Floor 2, but I'll kind of keep my ear out for that, as it were. So anyway, that's November 18th that you can look forward to Killing Floor 2. If you're into first-person shooters, then this would be a way that you can support something that a Christian is doing in the mainstream creative world. that's being done with excellence. And let's see, of course, this is probably one of the last times I'm going to harp on this, sorry guys, but in July also, in my little world, it was newsworthy, that Spirit Blade Productions released the final part of the Spirit Blade trilogy, Spirit Blade A World of Shadows, in both Legacy and Special Editions, and at the same time released Legacy Editions for the first time for Spirit Blade and Spirit Blade Dark Ritual, and now for a limited time still, until September 25th, Spirit Blade Legacy Edition is available for free. So anyway, that's a sci-fi audio drama series that mashes up fantasy and science fiction and splashes of horror here and there, and other kinds of crazy stuff. More information about that can be found at spiritblade.com. Now this was interesting. I just on a search for Christian video games, Christian entertainment, that kind of stuff, I learned of a Kickstarter project that's actually ended now, but it was to create a plug-and-play device which bundles the classic 8-bit Christian video games by Wisdom Tree. So if you go to the Wisdom Tree website, you can see more information about them and kind of what they've produced. But you might remember from the NES days these strange looking cartridges that were, I think, often blue in color. They weren't officially sanctioned, I don't think, by Nintendo. But there was there was a Noah's Ark game. There's Bible Adventures, which had, like, I think 3-in-1 games, 3 games in one, and then there was like one about, I think, about like Christmas, like Baby Jesus or something. I can't remember. It's been a long time. But these are, if not examples of like great excellence in gaming, they are these interesting kind of novelty items for people that are into video game history. Even among non-Christians that are into video game history, finding these cartridges or getting a hold of these games is something of a novelty. So anyway, I thought I'd let you guys know about that. The Arcade, a classic Christian video game plug and play, has now been funded. Their goal was $16,500. They got $25,965. And you can get more information about Wisdom Tree Games at wisdomtreegames.com. I came across recently a YouTube channel called Solid Rock Gamers, and there's actually a whole website that's associated with this channel. A lot of stuff going on. It's basically just a community for video gamers that are believers and just want to represent Christ in how they play games online and elsewhere. And their YouTube channel is at Solid Rock Gamers on YouTube. And what's nice about this, they've got a bunch of different kinds of videos that you can watch. In particular, what kind of caught my interest is their ongoing series called Solid Conversations, in which just 2 or 3 guys sit down and just talk about things that are relevant to Christian gamers, to the walk of a Christian in the world of being a video gamer, and specifically things that are relevant to streaming online. So if you've considered doing something like that, and it's not like this really charismatic kind of conversation that's going on. It's really just kind of relaxed and low key, and reminds me a lot of a conversation that I might have just actually sitting around with people. So I mean, so it has kind of a quiet, intimate kind of feel to it. So if that sounds appealing to you, I'd recommend checking out Solid Rock Gamers on YouTube. And lastly, JS URLs is the spotlighted creative type this month, along with Solid Rock Gamers, sorry. But not a news item, just kind of somebody I wanted to spotlight. And he is the author of a bunch of different stuff. He's done stuff for the National Geographic Channel. He's done adaptations, comic book adaptations of Ted Decker's Circle and Lost Books series. And the thing that I most know him for is Pistol Fist. And in episodes 46 and 47, way back when, on the Spirit Blade Underground podcast, I interviewed him, a 2-part interview featured in episodes 46 and 47 of the Spirit Blade Underground podcast. Did I say that enough? In which he talks about his creation of Pistol Fist, which is a critically acclaimed comic book about a fictional hero set during the, I believe it's during the Revolutionary War. So anyway, it's a comic book that was just done, in terms of art and writing with great excellence. And again, this J.S. URLs, if it wasn't obvious to you, since I'm featuring him here, is a Christian, and is just putting out some excellent content. So you can see kind of what kind of comic book stuff and other things J.S. URLs is up to if you go to J.S. URLs, and that last name is spelled EARLS, jsurls.webs.com. com. And of course, anytime you feel like digging around and seeing what's going on in the world of Christian geekery, you can go over to christiangeekcentral.com and click on our portal there, and that'll take you to the gateway option that'll get you to all kinds of stuff. You're looking for books and magazines, comics and animation, podcasts, blogs, tabletop gaming, or video games, all that kind of stuff. We've just kind of collected a bunch of links that feature Christians doing geekery that is both done with excellence and with biblical integrity. So that whole list there, that whole portal has kind of been curated as a resource for you at christiangeekcentral.com. And while you're there, why don't you pop into the forums and strike up a conversation? I hope you'll join us there soon as we continue to geek out and seek the truth.
I'm not interested.